sheet known as Form EC8A. That is the polling unit result sheet. Copies of that result entered into the result sheet is given to the agents of the political parties that are contesting that are in the election. Their agents at the polling unit are given copies of that election result physically. And then with the use of the beavers means the bimodal voter application system device. With the use of the device, a snapshot of the election results for that polling unit is taken. And with the beavers, this is uploaded onto the IREV. It's a photograph of the polling unit result sheet that is uploaded to the IREV. This is what INEC has been doing since 2020 when it introduced IREV. And the IREV is a web portal where anybody who is connected to the internet anywhere in the world can go there and view that. Can view the results on the IREV. Now, the proceeding continues from the polling unit where the Form E8A, the polling unit results, are taken to the ward collation center where the collation for the ward is done with all the polling units in that ward. Ward is also known as registration area. So whether we call it RA or ward is the same thing. The collation officer there collects the results from the polling unit, enters them into the ward level results sheet. And that ward level results sheet, copies also are given to the agents of the political party at that level. And then it also moves to the local government level where the local government collation is done. All the ward results from the local government are brought to the local government collation center where the local government collation officer collates the results into the local government level result sheet and gives copies also to the party agents at that level. So at every level where the result is entered, party agents are given copies for their respective parties, and a copy is also given to the security operatives as represented by Nigeria Police. Then from the local government level, they now come to the state collation center. That is the one most people would usually see live on television, where the returning officer for the state receives the local government results from the local government collation officers, collates it there in the full glare of everyone. And at all the other collation centers, it is also something that is open to the party representatives, the security agents, and even observers of the election and the media. So at the state level, when that is also done and you have the final collated results of the governorship election for the state, the returning officer, if satisfied that one of the candidates has met the requirements for being declared governor-elect, will make that declaration openly and everybody sees it. But from the polling unit, the result from the polling unit would already have been on the IREV. So people who are well organized, like some political parties who are well organized, already having received the polling unit results from the agents from the polling unit, and also seeing the results on the IREV, can at that point tabulate what they have, what the parties have scored, and they will know whether they've won the election or lost the election. It is as clear as that.
All right. Can I come in now? After listening to you, I want to believe this is a problem of semantics, because the headlines at the time that made the manual transmission an issue quoted you as saying that it would be manual transmission. But you have also said that from the polling units, the result sheets from the polling units go to the IREV. However, from the rack, that's the ward level, to the state level.
That's not the rack.
Sorry. From, what did you call it? The resident? You called it the name?
From the polling unit they will go to the registration area collation center.
Registration area collation. So that's what
ward collation center.
Okay.
This is the process that INEC has used since 2020. This is the process that was used in the last general election. So nothing has changed from that.
No, I'm going somewhere with that. Now, when it gets to the ward level, it will be done manually to the next level. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it does not go back to the IREV now at that point. It will be moved manually.
No. The only thing that appears on the IREV is the polling unit result.
All right.
And remember, the polling unit result is the basic block of final election result.
Okay.
So if you have failed in the polling unit, then that is it. That's where you win or lose election. And that polling unit result will be uploaded on the IREF for everybody to see.
That was what we were told during the general elections, but we saw that in many parts, uploading to the IREF was a huge difficulty.
But eventually those results were uploaded.
Yeah, but
if you go to the IREF now, you will see those results there.
I was going to
ask, if there was difficulty. No, hold on.
Okay.
Even if there was difficulty at the point where the election was concluded at the polling unit and that photograph taken, even if there was difficulty in uploading immediately, okay, they were eventually uploaded. So the point I also want people to know, a lot of the people who talk about this IREV don't even know how it works. I've never even been to the IREV. The meeting I had today, the stakeholders meeting we had today with the political parties, I asked the question there of the representatives of the political parties. How many of them have ever attempted to or have accessed the IREF? Not one person amongst the political parties' representatives said they have ever or they even know how to access the IREF.
Okay,
so when people say the IREF did not work or the results were not uploaded, some of them have never even gone to check.
However, I wanted to ask, and my question would have been, given the challenges seen during the general elections concerning uploading to IREV in real time, are there any challenges that Bayelsa State's Commission, and that's the Bayelsa State chapter of INEC, has witnessed concerning uploading in real time? Could it be a data network challenge? Could it be insecurity? What are some of the...
Sorry?
Can you hear me now, please? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So I was asking, are there any challenges witnessed by the Commission in Bayelsa State right now concerning the uploading to IREV in real time?
Well, there's no such a challenge, I know, because we are not uploading at the moment.
Okay.
What you have on the IREV is what has been uploaded already in the last election, and our results are there on the IREV. Now, this Saturday, we are going to have a mock accreditation. Okay, using the beavers, and we will also have an upload onto the IREV. So we are going to do this and people will see it in some of the polling units or selected polling units.
Okay, so in your press conference, you spoke to stakeholders and you told them that, it's going to be uploaded in real time. Is that some sort of, does it have some...
I don't understand. I don't get the point about real time. When election is concluded at the polling units and the results are entered in the results sheet, they will use the beavers and take a photo of the results of that polling unit, and they will upload it onto the IREF.
No, I was actually going to ask, does these now have a calming effect? You said you had a meeting with stakeholders in Bayelsa State. Does this now have a calming effect? Because I read a report about the IYC coming out to say, no, we're not going to have manual transmission. And some other stakeholders have also made it to the news where they were complaining about manual transmission. So now that you have done some clarity on the issue, does it have any common effect? You are in Bayelsa State. Do educate us, please.
The attendees at the meeting expressed their satisfaction with the explanations we gave to them, because we actually took them through the process of the election. And those of them who have been involved in the election also confirmed that that was the process and that they were satisfied with that. So if people were were complaining about something that wasn't true, I hope they now have the right information.
Okay, so we have a short commercial break coming up in about a minute's time, but I want to prep your mind for the next round of questions. One, you must have heard the court ruling that says the APC's candidate will not be eligible to run. What then happens? Will INEC give a place for substitution, or the APC will not have a candidate? That's one. Two, what other challenges is INEC facing in Bayelsa State concerning November 11 election, which is not far away, a month away from now? So these are some of the other questions I want to ask you when we come back from the break. Please do stay tuned. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so please do stay tuned. We'll be right back. am Kala Dakuru Batabo. 29 minutes to the top of the hour. My guest is Effanga, the resident electoral commissioner, Bayelsa State. He was, at some point, the resident electoral commissioner in Bayelsa State. Welcome back on the show, Mr. Effanga.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I laid down two questions, and the first one is what are the challenges the commission is currently faced with in Bayelsa State? For one, I know that Bayelsa is more of water than land. Is that going to be a problem? Yet again, when you talk about the communities in the interior part of Bayelsa State, will network be an issue? I do understand that Beavers works in a way where when you upload, even if there is no network, it will eventually upload when there is network. So what are some of the issues? Can you explain to us and the people who are listening from Bayelsa State?
Okay, so on the issue of network, what we do ahead of each election is to identify the telephone network that works in a particular area and ensure that the Beavers machines used in those areas have the appropriate network for that. But if there is a place that there's no network at all, then it would then mean that once they move to maybe the ward collation center where there is better network, or to the local government where there's better network, those results that have been uploaded through the Beavers will be available on the IREF. The other issue about, well, that's the nature of the state, mainly riverine, and we've been conducting election in the state here over the years, even when it was part of another state. So it's just for us to use the local solutions to those challenges, if we would call them that. So the areas that we can go with cars and trucks, we will do that. The areas that we'll have to use the boats, we also do that. We are engaging with the boat operators and the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria in that area. And for the where we have to go by land, we are also relating with the Transport Workers Union.
Okay, so now the reason why I asked this question is because, before the general elections, promises were made by INEC, and a lot of Nigerians put their trust in the process. But when it was done, due to certain errors, or would I say certain issues that characterized the elections, including the organization of transporting materials to locations, talk about the IREV and all of the issues. Some Nigerians are really skeptical, especially in Bayelsa State, which may have been the reason why the headline trended for days talking about manual transmission. So are you assuring Bayelsans that the elections will be largely smooth, largely smooth?
Definitely, that is what we are working towards, and we assure people that we will put in our best to ensure that the election is smooth in terms of delivery, polling units to open on time, and materials get to the polling units and designation centers on time, material and personnel, and also that all the things that we plan to do, that will make sure those things happen. We would also expect the participants in this election as candidates and political parties, campaigners, and voters to also do the right thing and not do the things that could go to mar the election. Because there are a lot of things that could mar an election. Logistics is only one of several things that could mar an election. We expect that everybody does the right thing, and then the election will come, and it will come successfully, and a winner will be declared.
Okay. To the next question then. There is the Federal High Court ruling saying that the APC governorship candidate cannot participate in the election, and the court gave its reasons. However, how does this impact the election in Bayelsa? Would INEC give room for substitution? Because I understand the process of substitution is far gone, but given the unique situation, would INEC do that? Secondly, does it mean APC would not have a candidate in the election?
Well, I am not personally aware of the details of what you're presenting. But what I will assure you is that INEC at all times is bound by the provisions of the Constitution, the provisions of the Electoral Act, and court orders directed to INEC. So if there's a court order to INEC to do one thing or another, that is what INEC would do. At this moment, I'm not aware of any such court order. And in any event, if there's a court order directed to INEC, it won't come to us at the state level. It would go to the INEC headquarters, and it is the commission that will take a decision based on that.
Okay, so let me explain what has happened. So the Federal High Court in Abuja has disqualified Timipre Silva as a candidate for the election because, one, according to the court, in its own opinion, that Timipre Silva has taken oath of office twice. So if you would remember, in 2008, there was an annulment of the 2007 elections in Bayelsa State. Secondly, the court, in its opinion, also did say that Timipre Silva has ruled for 5 years, if you will calculate the annulment and then the 4 years that he eventually ruled, that it is 5 years. And if he were to go for another term, it will mean that he would rule rather for 9 years, which is above the constitutional requirement. So given this explanation, would INEC make room for substitution? In your opinion, I'm not saying you are going to make the decision, but in your opinion, will there be room for substitution, or does that mean that APC will not be on the ballot?
Well, I'm afraid my opinion doesn't count on this matter, so I don't have any opinion to express.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Then I would have to go to the phone lines. So just stay on the line in case anybody has a question for you. Maybe you get to help us with that one. So for those of you listening to join the conversation, 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. What are your thoughts? Let's get to hear from you. LOKD and Dr. Effanga, away from this specific election, when is continuous voters registration resuming? Does INEC want to wait until the 2027 election is at hand? Michael is asking from Okrika, but that's not our conversation. This one says, good evening all. Please ask the Bayelsan Rec if there is any upload code or any code whatsoever which must be given to the polling unit officers, that position occupied by NYSC members, which if not given to them would not enable them upload, because that was what the polling officer in my polling unit said during the presidential and NAS polls. Text from Oyibo. So there is a question for you now. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, so we have issues with the connection. So Clinton from Bori. I'm going to start with Clinton from Bori. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon and good evening to you once more.
All right, welcome.
These people have started sugarcoating their words again.
How do you mean?
It would be better if INEC comes out clean and tell us that election results will be transmitted manually. So like they did, you guys announced in the morning crossfire, during the morning crossfire, I was very happy with it because they have told us they would transfer results manually.
Okay.
So that the electorate will be prepared to protect their vote.
Okay.
They're coming on air now to tell us that no, the status quo still remain, that they will do give us. I followed up the election. I was at the polling unit.
Okay.
And I saw what they did.
Okay.
Election results were not transmitted at the polling unit. And now look at, if you are putting up the tribunal cases, based on technicalities, they are not giving judgment to other people.
Okay.
That it is not constitutional to transfer results. These are the things they are giving to us. So INEC should come and play and tell us that results be transmitted manually and not electronically. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Clinton from Bori. Zion from Jare, welcome. What's on your mind, please?
Yeah, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
In what he's saying, it was the same thing Festus Okoye told us. Was the same thing Mahmoud Yakub said in the Chatham House. So what is different from what he's saying? We are not, I'm not interested in all this.
Okay.
What did the tribunal told you? Tribunal told you that INEC has the prerogative, underline this word, reserved on how to transmit their results. So what he's saying is only trying to advertise himself. Is okay, he can blow grammar, no wahala. But with what Nigerians experience, please, they should not open wounds that are trying to be healed.
All right, thank you very much, Zion.
You should not try to even talk about the IRF. Go to the IRF. They uploaded the head of goats. Nothing that was not uploaded there. You are talking about the of the IRF.
Zion, thank you very much. I've got to move on now. Thank you very much for your time. I've got Braid, and Braid is calling. I don't know where you're calling from, but Braid, welcome. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Chief Comrade. I am Braid.
All right, quickly.
Yeah, good evening to Obama Effanga, Bayelsa Rec. My question is that Obama Effanga is not telling Nigerians that IREC will upload. And when they get to the court, by the presidential election, they said INEC has every right to whichever method to conduct elections. Would Urban Effanga put that on writing, on black and white, that INEC will transmit to the Beaver?
All right.
Sorry, the Beaver will transmit to the IREC.
All right.
And if that doesn't happen, what should happen?
All right.
Please, INEC should not open wound anymore. There are a lot of fish head on the IREC portal. What does it stand for? Please, let him educate us how the IREC is going to disseminate to the portal. That let it be on black and white, so that it will be held responsible.
Braid, other people also want to talk, so I've got to let you go at this point now. But quickly, Mr. Effanga, I've got a question. A lot of people have been asking, what happens if in a polling unit uploading to the IRF does not work? What happens at that point? What does INEC do at that point?
That doesn't stop the election from the process from continuing.
Okay.
Because from the polling units, they will go to the ward collation center for the collation of the polling unit results. That the upload is not possible at that point does not stop the fact that there is a result for that polling unit.
Okay.
So this point needs to be made that the IREF is not a collation center, platform, or device. The IREF only stores photographs of the polling unit results. It does not add up those results. So you still have to add up those results at the ward level, at the local government level, and at the state level. That is when you will know the final result of the election.
All right. Okay, let's take some more calls. Daniel is calling from Transamari. Daniel, greetings. Welcome on the show. What is on your mind, please?
Yeah, Canada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
I want to ask a question. If INEC will not make use of the IRF, what is the importance of the previous machine that will spend billions of naira?
Daniel, they have not said they will not make use of the IRF or the beavers. They didn't say so.
I listened to him. He still talk about there will be a manual collection somehow.
No, that's what I tried to ask him, but then he corrected and he said it isn't manual. That the way the law is stipulated, it is that you transfer the polling unit's result to the IREV, and after that, every other thing goes the way it's supposed to go. So it moves manually from the polling unit to the ward, and from the wards to...
That is, I completely understand from that angle, but I listened to him very careful. I see the way that question is going, because this is the language they use in the general election. I hope that the whole glitches from INEC will not work, because there's so much speculation in the mind of the people. that it is the only time there are this manner collection, some agencies in INEC will favor whoever they want to favor and ask people to go to court.
Okay.
I hope this time around, those glitches will not happen in 2023. This is 2023. We should not be talking about glitches in our election.
All right.
Technology have come to stay, and people have a right to choose their leader. And technology is one area we can approve that this is individual we all voted for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Muriel from Okrika is calling. Welcome, Muriel. What is on your mind, please?
Thank you, Kalada. Good evening.
Yeah, good
Look,
evening.
Kalada, I think what the Bayelsa Resident Electoral Commissioner is saying is he just said it's not fair to the Bayelsa people. Look, Kalada, Bayelsa is one of the states that was ravaged by flood. So I think the flood must have spoiled so many things. So if he says that, if he comes out planning to say they cannot transmit results electronically, it will be clearly understandable.
So where did you see the where did you see the floods?
So
Muriel, listen. Where did you get reports from that Bayelsa State is flooded? I'm wondering. I'm just asking because I was there.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
I said, where did you get the reports from that Bayelsa State is flooded? Because I was there on Saturday, so I'm wondering.
No, not recently. Last year's flood was Bayelsa State
okay.
affected.
Yeah, it was affected.
Yeah. So if he says maybe one or two things have been destroyed and then maybe because of one or two challenges they cannot, it is fair to go ahead and say it now so that stakeholders and the people will work with that. It's not fair, Kalada. So you don't think the people are aloof in suspense. They don't know how you will transmit it. Then on that day, you just take them unawares and transmit it either manually or electronically. It is not fair. Give stakeholders a stand so that they can work with it. And a call to the Bayelsa people. Look, the Bayelsas have suffered and a lot of resources have gone into that state. So if Bayelsas make mistake again with these are critical times for the Bayelsas. So if they make mistake with looking for a good and credible and not fast ones that have helped destroy their current state, they should look for somebody.
All right, Muriel, I've got to go now. I've got to go.
To lift Bayelsa from the recent quagmire it is now.
All right, thank you very much, Muriel. Back to you, Mr. Effanga. A lot of people are referring to the glitch that happened during the presidential election, and they are saying and asking that I hope there will not be a repetition of a glitch during the electoral process. And another person is asking, does the person in charge of operating the BVAS need any code for the BVAS to operate functionally, or rather to function optimally during the electoral process? So over to you now.
Okay, so let's understand the use of the BVAS. The BVAS would be used in the election. And the first thing the BVAS would be used for in the election is the accreditation of voters. So if the BVAS would have been used to accredit voters and for the people to vote, there's nothing wrong with the BVAS, right? And then when the election is over, the BVAS will have the recording of the number of people who were successfully accredited in that polling unit. And they'll use the BVAS to snap the result sheet of that polling unit. And that is what is uploaded to the IREF. I have said this over and again, and I'm saying it again. That is what is uploaded to the IREF.
Okay.
What you will see on the IREF. But by the way, I have mentioned it here that when we had this meeting here today, all the political parties that were there, and I asked them how many of them have gone to the IREF. None of them said they had. So sometimes when people are talking about these things with so much passion, they may.
We're losing the connection again. Can you hear me, Mister?
He actually speaks.
Hello? All right, we've lost connection there. I'm going to try re-establishing connection. There's some issue there. But this one says, Uche from Port Harcourt. Good evening, Mr. KD. Mr. Obo Effanga actually is just smart in his comments. I hope he keeps up his sugar-coated words, which are from Port Harcourt. Mr. Effanga, can you hear me now? Hello? All right, I would have to re-establish connections there yet again. And do stay tuned. All right, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, the network issue. So you were saying when people talk about it passionately, what happens?
Yes, we need to find out if these people even know how this system works. How many of them have gone to the IREF to see how it works? I think people need to get the right information. And what I'm trying to do is to pass the right information to people so that they will understand how this works and don't have a wrong impression of how it works. And that is what I've been explaining, that at the end of the election in the polling unit, the election is won and lost in the polling unit. The result is entered in the result sheet of the polling unit. And a snapshot of this would be done using the beavers, and that is what is uploaded onto the IREF. What you see in the IREF are pictures of the polling.
Hello? Am I? I think the network is really terrible now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So let's read some more messages, and we will have your final words then. This one says, "This is Julie from Stadium Road. Please ask the Bayelsa Reg because the issue is about trust. Outside verbal assurance on the electronic transmission of the results, what guarantee is there that INEC and its staff will stand by the verbal assurance on electronic transmission of results?" And of course, someone asked about a code. Is there any code for the people operating the Beavers machine once again?
Of course, there has to be a way of using the Beavers machine that is only known to the persons meant to operate the Beavers machine. Otherwise, anybody can use it for all the wrong purposes.
Okay. So what about trust? Because a lot of Nigerians are saying these were the same promises made before the general elections, and after the general elections, a lot of people were heartbroken. So how do you deal with the issue of trust?
Well, when you say a lot of people are heartbroken, we need to find out why they are heartbroken.
Okay.
Are they heartbroken because INEC didn't conduct the election properly, or they are heartbroken because their preferred candidate did not win an election?
Interesting.
So we have a situation in this country with a lot of people where no matter what happens, if their own candidate does not win the election, then it means the election was not done properly. But if their candidate wins the election, then it is victory for democracy. I think we need to be concerned with the process more than what the outcome is. If you get the process right, then it doesn't matter who gets to win the election or who loses. By the way, there are 16 candidates in this election. Only one person would win.
All right, we've got to go at this point. We've got to go. We've got to go at this point.
Jury info. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, my people, how na day? We know the times don't hard, but higher them will cool. Don't day for Nigerians them. What a reliable fridge, freezer, or any other appliances? So
higher them cool day for you.
What an option with the last kakaraka?
Higher them cool day for you.
What an appliance when they consume too much electricity?